F1 Manager 24 for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We get the Team Hub upgrade complete on the facility, and we're going to pick 7th or above with Perez and 9th or above with Bottas. Let's go
to another
for Abu
exciting
Dhabi.
weekend of F1 action. The Yas Marina circuit was completed in 2009, and we've seen a fair share of celebration and commiseration over the years since then. The scenery may be spectacular, but this weekend, all eyes will be on the track.
Red Bull have outscored their rivals to be at the top of the constructors' table right now. And teams have fought for every hard-won point as we start round 24.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Formula One.
Right, you know how we do things around here. No messing about. Straight into qualifying. 6 minutes left on the clock. Gone out a bit later than usual, I feel like. Antonelli's just put a decent time in to go from 16th to 9th. 16th to 8th, sorry. Perez sets a green first sector. I believe he's a bit slower than Bottas, I think, through that first sector. I didn't quite see. The order so far is Verstappen, Tsunoda, Leclerc, Hamilton, Alonso ahead of both McLarens and both Mercedes. Have Aston Martin taken a step forward? Have Ferrari taken a step forward? Or is this just circuit specific, as there was a kick in Perez's way, and it doesn't really get out Bottas's way in a great way either. But coming through the last two corners, they're going to come around the corner. Perez goes P3 and Bottas goes P4. Lovely. And we finished the session in those exact positions, P3 and P4. Jack Doohan's got a penalty from last race where he crashed Oliver Bearman out of the race. Into Q2 then, with Bottas and Perez, of course. Who else? Coming through the first sector, Bottas does an 18 something. Perez also does an 18 something, so there's no clues there as to who is fastest. I do apologise if you can hear the fan in the background that I'm using. It is fairly warm in the UK, and if you can hear any cars passing by, I have got my window open. So, sorry about that. It's green for both. It's purple for Perez in the middle out of the two of them, which means it's Perez that's quicker over Bottas in the second sector. Coming around towards the final corner, up towards the line. Lawson goes for a spin. Bottas goes for a 22.5, and Perez does a 22.2.
Esteban Ocon here. Things were going smoothly, and the car fails to respond. They were just unable to do much about it.
And here we go into Q2, the final lap. Perez, I'm more than happy, has got a lap in good enough to stay into Q2, but Bottas, I'm not happy enough with the lap. He goes green in the first sector, which is good. Both Ferraris currently sit 15th and 16th, with Antonelli also in the drop zone. Antonelli comes across the line, finishes P7. Lawson stays P13. Next one's a Ferrari, that's going to be big. Leclerc goes P13. Leclerc is out in qualifying. George Russell crosses the line. Next one is Lewis Hamilton. That's also going to be a big one. Lewis Hamilton makes it through into P4. There's Albon and another Haas. We're going to cross the line with Bottas, go P6, and both of our cars are through into Q3 to keep our 100% record this season of both cars getting into Q3. But Alonso and Leclerc are both out in Q2. Yikes. Right now, we're starting the first flying lap in Q3. Going around the first corner, Bottas and Perez are quite close to each other. Bottas should get a slipstream from this close. That was a Mercedes, I think, nearly blocking us as he came out the pit lane. Perez went quickest in the first sector out of the two of these guys, and he is sort of pulling away, which makes me a little bit worried considering Bottas has a major slipstream on him. Going through towards the end of the second sector, Perez has definitely looked like he's pulled away, but Bottas is quicker in the second sector, so that slipstream has obviously helped. Coming through the last sector, but obviously Bottas is going to be getting dirty air now through these corners, so I don't know if this is actually a good choice or not. Perez does a 22.0 and Bottas goes 1/10 off that, currently P4 and P5 as they start their final laps, and I've separated them a bit more this time for their final run in Q3. Bottas was on a scrub set for the first lap, by the way. He goes yellow in the first sector, Perez goes green. Perez has had 2 fresh runs in this session, whereas Bottas has only had the one, which is this run he's on right now, and he won't be quicker in the second sector because he's not got a slipstream. I don't think Bottas is going to improve, so it must be all eyes on Perez. Perez goes yellow first sector. Bottas goes yellow as well. So that's Perez. We've only got Perez as our only chance of improving. Tsunoda and Hamilton have finished. So have Russell and Stroll. Someone else has finished. Piastri has got above us. We're currently P5 and P7. Norris goes above us, which means we'll be starting P6 and P8 in Abu Dhabi. Let's get a good result. I want a podium and I possibly want a race win. Our pace was that promising in qualifying.
Only 58 laps stand between the drivers and the checkered flag as they prepare to duel it out under the lights here in Abu Dhabi.
Yas Marina has played host to a fair few title-deciding races, such as 2016 when Lewis Hamilton secured the top podium spot, only for Mercedes teammate Nico Rosberg to claim second and secure his maiden World Championship.
Reprofiled in 2021 to improve overtaking, Yas Marina is a high downforce circuit where DRS is highly effective. Racing under floodlights, the track cools during the Grand Prix to help with brake and tyre wear. It's race day with the teams and drivers ready and raring to go. Welcome back everyone. The final preparations are now being made as we head into the race. The calm composure of Sergio Perez amongst the hustle and bustle of the grid.
Getting into the top 6 is a very good start. With an error-free race, they'll be confident of grabbing some points.
And it'll be exciting to see just what will happen here today. Hold on tight, it's the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And it's lights out!
And it's lights out and away we go for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We're currently P5 and Bottas has dropped down to P9. Perez gets up to P4, overtaking Oscar Piastri. And here's Carlos Sainz going around the outside of Liam Lawson. That's a very, very good move. Ooh, but they do make contact. And here's Bottas overtaking Stroll. I think that's Stroll. Yep, that's Stroll. And up into P8 for Valtteri Bottas. And now up to P7 as he overtakes Lewis Hamilton. And he's sat right behind George Russell. And Perez is up to P3, going past both Piastri and Norris. Now we just need to take the push mode down a little bit as we come to the start of lap 3. Perez is out of DRS of the two Red Bulls. How Tsunoda's keeping up with Verstappen, I don't know, because if you watch real life F1, you know that's absolutely not the case. But hey ho, it's a medium hard for today's race. There's a safety car deployed just when we needed it to bring our temps down as well. That's Isaac Hajar. Just, what was he doing there? Completely hits the wall. So yeah, safety car. I wonder if anyone's going to pit. I am going to stay out with both cars. That's my choice for this safety car. What will they do? What will everybody else do? Because I want tyre wear at the end. If they box it, I'll be finished at the end. Both Red Bulls pit, Tsunoda and Verstappen come in. I'm going to stay out. Perez is going to take the race lead. Is everybody going to pit though? Quite a few do. Tsunoda have Verstappen, Hamilton, Piastri all have pit. Possibly Behrman, Lawson, Sainz have. Doohan I don't think would have done. But it's Perez in the lead, followed by Norris and Russell and Bottas, who goes down the inside and up into third place onto the podium. And he's keeping Russell behind, but Russell's going to go for a mega lunge and be much better on the brakes than Bottas and get the place. Bottas finally gets Russell on lap 13 with a stellar move. Leclerc's here as well, Alonso, Stroll, that's the people we need. Pit stops here around 23 seconds, 24 seconds I do believe. Possibly 21 seconds, I can't remember. But we should be sort of Albon way, I think. Bottas comes in on lap 15 off his soft compound tyres. I think Bottas is on a 3-stop today, whereas Perez is just on the 2. So I think Bottas is on a soft, medium, hard. And Bottas comes out in P17 behind Sainz, but Perez should be about 8 seconds in front of that, I would have thought. But yeah, and here comes Bottas with Sainz and Doohan and Lawson, I think this is, getting a move done on Sainz down the inside. That's a stellar move. and he's going to get the move on Gasly, sorry, not doing. And then a lap later, on lap 17, he's going to get the move on Lawson up to P14. This is causing him quite a bit of time loss. And then Bottas is going to get the move on Albon on lap 18, and he's going to try and go for the Stakes Albon and Nico Hulkenberg, but can't find a way around the outside, so just has to sit behind for now. And Perez loses the lead on lap 19, and Perez regains the lead, or tries to on lap 19, and does regain the lead, and comes into the pits on lap 20 with George Russell. Hopefully, Stroll comes into the pits. We got a 2.9 second pit stop onto another set of mediums for Sergio Perez, and he's coming out behind Tsunoda, so he is net P4 because Hamilton, Verstappen, Tsunoda have all pit. So if you look at that graphic, we are net P4 and net P8, I think, or net P7 as Leclerc comes into the pits. Bottas overtakes Leclerc. Norris and Piastri come to the pits, which puts Perez up to P5 and Bottas up to P8. And now Perez is going to go for an overtake on lap 22 on Tsunoda with the worn tyres, and Alonso comes in just in front of him. Perez then sets the fastest lap, and he's 2.2 seconds away as Bottas gains another place in the pits. Leclerc overtakes Bottas. Verstappen comes into the pits and is out behind Bottas. Hamilton goes for a super clean move on lap 24 and gets the lead.
Whoa.
And Nico Hulkenberg is going to go for a spin. Whoopsie. On lap 30, Bottas comes into the pits again. He's currently last of the top of the big teams, apart from Tsunoda, but Tsunoda's pit twice, I do believe. Bottas comes in for a set of the hard compound tyres, possibly taking those to the end, but I doubt it. 2.7 seconds pit stop was, and Bottas is out in P12, right behind Antonelli, and gets him on lap 30, down the inside, cold tyres, still making overtakes, as Norris overtakes Perez on lap 33, 9 laps after Perez took the lead. But Perez does hold it, in fairness to him. But Norris on lap 34, 10 laps after Perez took the lead, takes the lead, and he's going to run away with it with the McLaren, I think. Perez's pit window is open though, so it's kind of good that he's lost it now, and he's kept it all the way to his pit window. As Bottas is out in P11 and he's fighting Stroll, 3.3 seconds away. Lando Norris has overtaken Sergio Perez, and there's nothing Perez can do about it because he's not that close to him. He's going to continue to follow him throughout the third sector. He's going to try and get close, but I don't see him pulling over an overtake around here. Bottas is now 2.2 away from Stroll, and last lap wise, Bottas is quite a bit quicker. I don't know why this clip's going on so long. Why have I not edited it? Come on, Liam, use your brain. You should have just cut this clip by now. Hamilton currently comes into the pits, so hopefully that'll be another place for Bottas. This is where I should have cut it.
And who's that having an issue?
Yes, that is another place for Bottas. Bottas up to P10 as Hamilton has a pit stop issue.
The replay. Now we're watching the action closely here. They decide to give it a go.
Valtteri Bottas makes a nice move on Stroll for the second time this Grand Prix. Perez comes into the pits with a chance of a podium and the possibility of a race win that I wanted. There's a chance with all these mixed strategies going on that we might not even end up in the top 5, and that's a slow stop. We've lost 2 seconds there in the pits. That could be vital if we lose the race by 2 seconds. Stroll's coming to the pits. Perez comes out P6, and Alonso gets past Perez. And so Perez is down to P7, we're cutting P7 and P9, and Bottas is definitely coming in for another set of tyres. I think his stints were aggressive, attacking, aggressive, and Perez finally gets past Fernando Alonso on lap 39. Russell comes into the pit lane. He should be comfortably behind Perez, but most probably comfortably ahead of Bottas as well. Bottas is currently about 7-8 seconds behind Perez, as Russell does lose a place to Perez. And I think Piastri lost place to Bottas as Perez overtakes Tsunoda on lap 40, and Perez overtakes Leclerc on lap 41. Next car in front, Norris, who's yet to box, and I believe the pit stop is 21 or 22 seconds, something like that. So if we're 19 seconds, Norris should be a couple behind. which means he should be behind Leclerc as well. Alonso also comes into the pits. That should be an extra place for Bottas. Perez takes the lead, and Bottas goes up to P7. Nice. 15 laps to go. Lando Norris takes the race lead on his fresh softs compared to Perez's relatively fresh hards. Perez goes down the inside. He's not letting him have it easy. Norris then overtakes Perez again, and Perez gets it back on lap 45, and Bottas comes into the pits on lap 46. Leclerc also comes into the pits. No idea what he's on. But Norris, with Bottas, we've just got to go for as high as we can get. We need top 8, I think. 4.6 second again, 2 second delay on the stop. Norris overtakes Perez, and Bottas overtakes Lance Stroll. Not quite though, he can't quite find the gap. He's going to use all his DRS, all of his battery, DRS, down the inside towards the really tight left-hander. Doesn't get Stroll. 10 laps to go, needs to get Stroll. He's costing us time, although Stroll was on fresh hards, and they've also gained 2 seconds on Tsunoda. Now Bottas, he's up to P10 in front of Stroll, and on the final lap, Norris wins by 4 seconds to Perez. So that 2 second mistake didn't cost us in the end. It was just the strategy, the more conservative strategy that cost us. But it's Norris, Perez, Verstappen, Russell. We get our first podium in the sport. Tsunoda is going to come home for P5, I do believe. Yep, he crossed the line. Piastri P6. Leclerc P7, Hamilton P8, Alonso P9, Bottas P10, which means we didn't get the sponsor goal with him, but we got points for both cars, 19 points over that race weekend. That is a good haul of points, and our first podium.
Just managing a finish in the points, having crossed the line in 10th.
No stranger to the podium, the Mexican driver now takes his place after another remarkable race.
That's going to make them very happy, taking home their first trophy this year.
And with that, the drivers finally get the chance to cool off and enjoy themselves. Well, Karun, how do you think they'll be feeling in the team garage at the end of that?
They'll certainly be pleased to have made the podium. A job well done for sure.
And that then concludes our time here in Abu Dhabi.
For the next round, we'll be travelling to Qatar as the drivers battle it out at the Losail International Circuit. We'll see you there.
So P2 and P10, a tale of two halves really, that race. Bottas, I think it was just the traffic early on. When we boxed him a bit earlier than Perez, and it was just the traffic that stopped him. And I know you lot will probably be tired of me hitting Bottas early and ruining his race, but there's nothing I can do. His tyre wear is just atrocious. We're up to 3rd in the Constructors. We don't get any points in the Pit Stop Championship, and it was the lower the car that was the issue with Perez's stop, and the same issue with Bottas's stop. So we need to get that sorted for next time. 950 grand from the sponsor target. The weather centre is complete. Suspensions are being manufactured, and we're going to upgrade the weather centre. We're going to upgrade the helipad, I do believe. No, we're going to upgrade the tour centre for a bit of marketability and some more cash, weekly cash. So sort of a spend money to make money situation. Same with the memorabilia room, because that will attract bigger sponsors. And same with the helipad. And our sporting director goes up to 83 rating. And here we are designing. What do we design? What do we choose to design? A new front wing? Again? Really? Yeah, we're going to go for a new front wing, and we're going to go for some research as well on the rear wing. And if you have enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time for some more F1 Manager. Goodbye for now. Qatar is the next race. I'm looking forward to it.